Well, we're just minutes away from the start of round 4, heat number 1. The pride of Portugal, Frederico Morais, is going to be out there along with Caio Ibelli, and current Jeep ratings number 2.
With that longer period, we're going to see big, long lines come through, and well, I'm sure that all these guys are going to have plenty of opportunity.
But here we go. Frederico Morais is going to be the first guy up and starts with a nice carve off the top, winds up off the bottom. Great surfing, matching power for power, and has no problem through some of the trickier section. And looking to get caught back up with some open face. Frederico finds it and now looks for a closing maneuver on the inside before he hails a ski for a ride back out. Right behind him, Caio Ibelli. We talk about the sneaky power that Caio has, and he's illustrating it right here with some beautiful carves. That rail game, Potts, I know you like it when the surfer keeps the board tilted on the rail throughout the whole turn, so we saw that technique by Caio Ibelli.
Lay into those big turns, you got that rooster tail. That's what you want. That's the gauge on how much effort and power the surfer is putting into his turns.
Guy with a different approach. Back to the wall, Owen Wright. Nice carve. Gets down to the bottom, looks for more, and decides that wave just wasn't up to his liking, and wisely kicks out. He's going to have to reset, get back out the back, and have another swing at it. Yeah,
that first turn, very important. You heard Richie Porter talk about, head judge Richie, talk about the fact that if you don't connect with that first turn, let's have a look at Caio. Good solid wave here for the young Brazilian. Speed down the line, just setting it up, being very patient here. Now it starts to stand up as he draws off the bottom. There's that power that we talk about, critical stuff in the pocket. Comes out with speed and does not miss a beat. So Caio Ibelli off to a flying start here. And again, we talk about how much water flies out the back of the wave. That equals power. You can see him just throwing everything into these turns. Mind you, it's his first wave, so he will be tapping off a little bit, just making sure that he really connects with that, gets the ball rolling. Frederico Morais. Let's have a look at his approach. Connects nicely with that first turn. Now it starts to set up through the inside bowl. Nice vertical turn, a little bit of a free-fall drop. So Frederico, a little bit of a different approach, more of a vertical in the lip approach, whereas Caio was more of that, just that gouging sort of approach. So these guys will really adjust their surfing due to what the wave's going to allow them to do. So it's not necessarily taking off on a wave with an idea of what they want to do, but reacting to each situation as it arises.
Yeah, we're going to still wait for those to come in complete so we can give you an update. Well, first score for Frederico Morais, an 8-point ride, a full point above Caio Ibelli.
Second and third delegated to round number 5, which is an elimination round, as we see Caio.
He heard he got a 7 on his first ride. He wants to do better than that on this one. Goes through the lip, survives the bounce on the way down. Long stretching wave, and through the lip again for Caio Ibelli. Aggressive whitewater climb in a tricky section, and that grabs his board, goes incomplete there.
Yeah, on a day like today, you kind of want to steer clear of maneuvers like that. With that lump and bump, it's not a smooth transition. It's going to be difficult to complete those kind of turns out here. You want to keep the board on the open face. You want to find that clear water, find that clean water, and you know, quite possibly second and third wave of the set. But then in saying that, you want it to be bigger than the first one. If you get that second or third wave and it's not bigger than the first one, you're going to have that white water residual from the wave before, and it's going to be trickier to produce those clean, smooth rail turns. We would have seen some good stuff. So this is Caio's 4.67 first turn through the lip. So critical stuff. And second turn, again through the lip again. So the judges rewarding that critical vertical surfing and then foam climb. So on the merit of those first 2 turns of 4.67, this is the 7. I think the first turn, I love the first turn from Caio right here. He sets it up, waiting for it, waiting for it. It's all about what Bells Beach requires is be patient. Look at that turn, back into the pocket, wearing the lip on the shoulders and coming out with speed. Another beautiful swooping maneuver. I like that sort of clean transition in very tricky conditions. So Caio off to a great start, and again, just hooking into it. So found a lot of open face on that, found a lot of clean, and then finished off nicely. So joined the dots. Started strong, finished strong, did some clean surfing in between, which is very tricky to do out here. This one looks all right.
And Owen says, "You're right, Potts. This one looks great. I'm going to go." Owen, that big, deep bottom turn, hooks it off the top on the backhand. And a vertical, just stabbed through the lip. A little variety there with a rock and roll floater showing some board control, and just gets caught up on his way to a big score. But a couple of big turns out the back, Potts.
That was definitely excellent surfing up until that point. I think it's still going to be a fairly chunky score. Might be a nice little backup, but let's have a look. Nice clean face, and that's what you got to look for out here. Nice start, just jamming it into the lip, getting the board all the way back around, which is important in that right there. I mean, how good was that? Rock and roll float. That was a critical turn as well, using the resistance of the white water to get that board nice and vertical. Great surfing here from Owen. This is still going to be a good score. First turn, jamming it, look, extending that body, using that big frame, and then I love this turn right here. That's the difference between the goofies and the naturals today. You're going to be able to get that board, throws a tail. I mean, and I love the way he touches that front of the board with a hand, just gives it that extra point of contact. And then right here, watch how critical this is. Zing, gets that board, beautiful little rock and roll floater from Owen. And, you know, with the wipeout, it's still going to be a pretty solid score. Unfortunate for Owen, just maybe cranking it a little bit too much, just digging that nose in. You can see almost pulled it out. You can see him just trying to get that nose back out. Almost, but not quite. He was definitely on his way to excellent score, and the score drops now. Not what he's looking for. Frederico's already in the excellent range, so it's Frederico's to lose at this point.
Let's see what he's got. Off the bottom. Nice carve to open up the account, working his way down the line. Little downturn there. Float lip glide there. Another lip glide, a little bit better on that turn. Now this wave looking clean on the inside. Big snap for Frederico. What more does he have for us? The finish, throws the tail, survives the bounce, and he's going to back up that 8-point ride.
Yeah, so all of a sudden Caio 7 as maybe a backup is not going to be enough, because it's going to be another great score from Frederico Morais. 19 minutes remaining. Tell you what, he's not surfing like a rookie, is he?
No. One of the two rookies left in this final 12, along with Ezekiel Lau, and we talked so much about the rookie class, but Frederico Morais looking very mature. Here we go with a 2016 Rookie of the Year, Caio Ibelli. Beautiful arc all the way through, all the way back. Maybe took it a little too far back, because now he's caught in the white water, and that led to that mistiming there. Belly goes down. Advantage to Frederico Morais with 18 minutes and 35 seconds counting down.
Opportunity lost right there from Caio. Wrong choice in turns on the opening maneuver. Maybe brought it too far around. You know, it's important to read the wave. It's important to react to what the wave. You can't put a maneuver in a spot where it's going to put you behind the section here. You can't afford to miss any of the wave at the Bell's Bowl. Let's have a look at Moraes' wave first. Beautiful opening turn, nice extension of the body, starting to find the groove, starting to find the rhythm, and he's reading the wave really well. That's very important to do here. Reacting accordingly, split section timing, again up and over. So Frederico on his way to a massive score again, snapping it through, showing some variety, keeping that speed flowing. You can see those little bottom turns. He's not necessarily doing that one long turn, which may, in these kind of conditions, wipe off a bit of speed, but this first turn is where a lot of the score is going to come from. Beautiful extension of the body. Now he just extends that back leg and jams it. So good stuff there from Frederico Morais. And as I said, another great score just about to be locked in. So Frederico started with an 8-point ride, and he's going to back it up with another good score. Let's have a look at Caio's. This is kind of a first turn was beautiful right there, but then he brought it too far around and it put him right behind the section. You can see the sense of urgency. Now when you're rushing here at Bells Beach, you tend to pick the wrong turn, pick the wrong time to do it. Mistakes are going to happen. Unfortunate for Caio there. Great opportunity gone begging.
Still standing by for score for Frederico Morais. And an update to the situation that we have in the water. One thing we can tell you for sure is that Owen Wright's first in line for the next wave coming through that he chooses, because he's got first priority, but Caio under priority, going to have another go at it. Some smooth rail surfing from Caio Ibelli. Just keeping that board on rail, touching the rail, tipping it over just a little bit more. The inside section here offering more for Caio Ibelli, and he throws it up in the lip. Nice carve. So well put together wave for Caio Ibelli. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. I like the fact that he wasn't scared to pull the trigger on it. You know, he didn't want to get too far behind. 16 minutes remaining. Frederico Morais, 7.5 on wave number 2. And I mean, starts with an 8, drops to 7.5. This guy's just so familiar with big scores, isn't he? Every time he stands up, he's just dropping bombs. And Morais with an 8 backed it up with a 7.5, and we talked about that 7 for Caio. I knew as soon as Frederico got that wave number 2, that 7-point ride from Caio was not going to be enough even as a backup. So Caio's really got to replace both his rides.
Owen Wright now under a little bit of pressure from the clock, because he needs 2 scores to take a win here in round number 4. Nice hook off the top. And now the wave just going a little bit, you know, facier and sleepier, so relinquished to some cutbacks for Owen. Looking for a finish and a nice hook. Vertical, 12 o'clock for Owen Wright.
Who needs a 9.5. Caio needs an 8.5. So that last wave from Caio is going to do, it's going to chip away at that 8.5. Great surfing, took off a little bit wider in the bowl. Owen Wright was a little bit too deep on that occasion, so Caio pulling the trigger, which I thought was a very smart move. So easy to run out of time out here at Bells. Nice opening maneuver. Just getting himself right back where he needs to be in the guts of the wave, where all the power is, where all that vertical face is. I love that turn right there, just holding the rail to give him an extra point of contact. Now he starts to open up, needs some vertical stuff, which he gets. The judges are loving those vertical turns out here this morning. And Caio finishing off on his feet, which is so important. Looking for an 8.50 on that roll of the dice. Let's have a look at Owen's wave. Owen needs to get busy. Currently sitting with a 6 and a 2. Not enough at this stage. Need a big score, 9.50. Beautiful vertical turn from Owen. Nice and low off the bottom. I love the style and the sort of the way he's able to hold his rail through his turns. Riding a 6.6 board, which is a lot longer than most guys. And that vertical turn from Owen. Big, powerful guy. So I don't think it's going to be enough though. 9.5. He's gonna better that too. But both Caio and Owen are going to need some massive scores.
Well, during that replay, the score dropped for Caio Ibelli, 6.6. So he's still going to be searching for that 8.5. Caio's going to hear that news from our beach commentators right now. We can see on the pulled back shot, you know. So we have a glimpse here, but the judges, it's a little bit more perspective, and they're throwing down the numbers. The wise men up in the tower. And here we go with Owen, right? And a little bit of gamesmanship by Caio Ibelli, utilizing priority to keep Owen off, but unable, did the defense there, but no offense came through there. No additional scores for Caio Ibelli. I don't know. What do you think about that? That was some gamesmanship. It's the game of surfing right now. What do you think about that?
You're still in with another shot, but it determines who you come up against in the next round.
That's
Here we go.
Non-elimination round. Heat leader, Frederico Morais. His job here is to better 7.5. He's not going to do it there. So it's just going to flip priority. Owen Wright is sitting out in the takeoff zone. There we go with Owen Wright looking for a comeback here in heat number 1, round number 4. We're at the Rip Curl Pro. And here goes Owen. And a little bit of a heartbreak there with wave selection pots.
Yeah, well, it's tricky out there, and you know, with the 3 surfers in the lineup, it's sometimes you get pushed a little deeper than you want to be, and you know, sometimes you kind of pull the trigger. He had to go really, because look at Frederico. Frederico was keeping him honest right there. Had Owen let that go, Frederico would have been in the perfect position. So again, maybe a little bit of defense from Owen, thinking that, look, there's 8.5 to go. I've still got a shot. Oh my gosh, look at the size of this set coming through. It's a head game as well as a physical act, balancing act, and that's why we love coming to Bells Beach so much.
Caio Ibelli needs 8.5. That's the number he's looking for. Nice little turn off the top to start it off. Double pump off the bottom, a little skitter there. Regathers for another carve. Getting a little bit trickier on this inside section. You can see a little more skitter on his rail again, bouncing through these turns. Handles that one. Let's see what kind of finish he has for us. Up through the lip, glides, gets out in front of the whitewater.
Nice finish.
What?
Yeah, nice finish.
8.5 is the requirement. What do you think, Potts?
I don't think he's going to get it. I think that last turn was fantastic. Although it's, you know, to be able to deal with that lump and bump and still react and throw the rail down, and, you know, even though those bottom turns, he kind of lost a little bit of speed, he still managed to open up with some beautiful turns. So
here it is.
Let's have a look. I mean, it's a difficult wave to ride, and you've got to take that into consideration as well. Nice opening turn, just setting the rail, making sure he's in the right place. Comes off the bottom, bit of bounce, but deals with it nicely. You can see he's still carrying speed through his turns. And again, just holding that rail through that, very difficult to do as well. Comes around the section. What's he got? Bangs it up through the lip, just setting this inside turn. Comes around the section, pumping, and then bang. That was a dynamic maneuver right there to finish off for Caio Ibelli. So 8.50. Is that the best wave of the heat? What's going to have to be if he wants to move up into that first spot.
Certainly had a dynamic ending, like you said, Potts. We're going to see how that factors in. A little bit, you know, had to get through some difficult water earlier in the wave. We'll see. Judges continue to deliberate, and we're going to look at live action here from Frederico Morais, our heat leader, and tour rookie, looking to improve upon his low of a 7.5. That was an aggressive snap by Frederico. Comes around that difficult whitewater climb that we talked about earlier, handled perfectly from the big guy from Cascais. Closing maneuver up into the lip, and that's all he's going to get. Owen Wright back to the wall. Goofy footer throws the tail out the back, fins flying. Comes around this section again, and just a little bit of excitement perhaps, and goes incomplete.
Well, Owen's figured out he's behind the 8 ball. He needs to crank it up. And sometimes at Bells, when you have that sense of urgency, you know, things kind of don't work out the way you want them to. Pushing a lot harder on that turn. Let's have a look at O-Dog here. Just nice, sort of smooth start to the wave. Nothing too crazy. This is where he starts to open up a little bit more. I love that turn from Owen Wright. That's just incredible stuff. And again, just throws the tail out. So on his way again to a good score. And let's have a Frederico Morais needing to better a 7.5 if he wants to increase his score line. Setting that first turn up, and that's what you've got to do here at Bells. Just make sure you get that first maneuver nicely, which he did. Bit of a jam in the pocket, up and over the top, which is tricky to do today. Bumpy through that midsection, but you know, you've got to react to what the wave lets you do. Obviously, the judges don't like cutbacks, but if that wave offer cutbacks, you have to do them to finish off that nice inside maneuver. So I think he could have cranked it up a little bit more through that inside turn. But he's looking to better a 7.5. Caio needing an 8.5. This is going to be a very interesting exchange.
Caio, live action. A nice downturn and a beautiful carve under the lip, laying back. Look at the smooth face that he's found here. Another carve for Caio Ibelli. Come around this section, eyeing where he's going to place his maneuver. Gets back to the open face. Had to skip around that section as it drew all the way into the channel here at Bells, and Caio just continues to hammer away. Gets through the lip, and that one, unfortunately,
takes him down.
not the finish, and takes him down.
I like the intent, you know. I think he's he's really hooking into his turns a lot more than the other two surfers. Just seems to me like he's got a bit more confidence at the moment. He's just driving through his maneuvers. 8.5. We still owe we've owed a couple of scores here still from Caio. We're still waiting for this one here. This is the score that we're still waiting for to drop, and the judge is having a look at it. You can see he's just really laying into his turns a little bit harder, and not scared to go for it. This turn right here, solid finish from Caio, and he's an 8.5 required from him, and that score drops in.
8.03, not enough for Caio Ibelli. Now looking for a 7.47. Here's a look, judge's review of Frederico Morais.
Yeah, Fredrico looking to improve on a 7.5. Maybe, I'm not seeing it really. I thought that 7.5 way better than this wave. So we're still waiting for one more score from Caio. Needs a 7.47 on his last roll of the dice. A little bit of a safety maneuver there for Frederico to finish that wave off. So I'm not seeing his scoreline improve. Owen, I mean, Owen's just got that first turn down pat. I love that, how he just gets that tail release out of the back of the wave and then just pushes a little bit too hard. So Owen is still going to be down in that third spot. The question is, Caio's last ride, is that better than a 7.47? It's going to have to be to get himself in the lead. I thought it was a pretty solid wave. You know, just he showed a bit more conviction. 8.03 on his last wave. This is his last wave. Good solid wave as well. You can see how he sort of drives into that first turn. Beautiful maneuver. This next turn is where the money's going to come from. Hooking into there. That's critical stuff from Caio. And again off the bottom, jamming it in the lip. Waiting for this finish. Now, kind of missed that section a little bit, but then reacted nicely to get around it. So important to read the wave here perfectly. Sometimes if you force that maneuver, you're going to come unstuck. Caio looking for the finish. Nice little slashing maneuver, and then really goes for broke on this end section. Unfortunately goes down. So if there's any negative, that's going to be it. But I thought he'd done a lot of hard work through that beginning of the wave. That second turn, that jam in the pocket with a bit of fin release was a critical maneuver to do.
Again and again before assigning a number. So a potential heat steal. We'll see Caio Ibelli looking to the shore. He wants the news. And is he going to like the news? Yes, he is. An 8.43.
Yep.
Last wave, Caio Ibelli steals the heat over Frederico Morais and Owen Wright. And like we said, the sneaky, powerful guy from Brazil, Guarujá, is going to the quarterfinals. Pops.